Cyber World. Welcome back to another video. I'm Jennifer.
And I'm Richard, and this is our channel we call Poor Man's DIY.
So last week I explained to you that our video for this week, we were going to do part 5 for the sink, but it's actually part 5 for the faucet. And with that, I will let Mr. Poorman explain.
And with that, cue music.
Whoops, I think we should do a change of scenery.
Obviously, we're not set up in the actual bathroom where we're renovating because we wanted to show you how we're going to do the process of installing the faucet and some other things for the sink. And it's much easier to do this before you actually install the vanity, and then the pipes become very difficult to gain access to. So I threw this on our sink on a couple of sawhorses, and we're going to go ahead and lower the camera, and we'll show you step by step on how to install the faucet on the sink. Let's take a look at how we do it. All right, here's our mock-up sink, and we're going to be installing the faucet onto this 3-hole on the sink. And the first step we're going to have is it should come with a gasket. The gasket is just a protection between the faucet and whatever the surface of this the sink is. Putting on the gasket here. And now that will sit directly on top of the sink. And then it's just as simple as pushing those through the holes. Okay, what we just showed you is how to install this, and it's tightened. This tightens the faucet to the sink itself so it doesn't move. Now here's something that's really difficult. This is nice and easy setting it up outside before we mount it onto the vanity, but if you're just going to change the faucet itself, imagine there's a wall on this side of it, and you've got to crawl underneath the vanity inside of it and trying to reach all the way up here to tighten it. There is actually a tool for that you can pick up that has saved a lot of time for me more than once. This is just something that you can pick up at your local hardware store, and it'll clamp onto it and allow you to crank it and turn it from underneath the sink without having to get a wrench up and so forth. Okay, the next step, we're going to actually install the hot and cold hoses that'll connect from here down to the pipes that come out of the wall. But before installing this, I put on a little bit of tape here. This will help to prevent any kind of leaks.
Now we're going to place in the drain, but first you'll need some plumber's putty. So what we're going to do is you take some clay-like substance and you make a snake out of it, and then we're going to wrap it around the drain like this and place it right in there.
Okay, now that we've put the top of the drain into the sink with the plumber's putty, we're actually going to be installing this from the bottom and screwing the two together. Now I'm going to screw this in. Now use this to tighten it, and as you tighten it, more of the putty comes out of the top. And now you have a seal. Okay, now to install it, just like that. And then we put the stopper in. Okay, the next step, we're going to remove this. We're going to feed the ball, and if you notice, that ball now creates a seal. Okay, so now that we've installed this, just to explain, that ball now created a seal so that water cannot come out when the water is draining down the pipe. In addition, there's a bar that goes all the way and attaches to the stopper. And so when this goes up and down, it pulls the stopper up and down in the sink. Next, we're going to connect this to here. And we're going to lock it in place with this little bolt. This lets us set the adjustment to the height that we want. If we want to start from here or we want to start from here, we pull it. Next, we're going to install this onto the rail. And you do so with the provided clip. And there we go. And up, down, up. Let's put some tape on here to reconnect the pipe. Tighten this by finger only. Now we're going to turn on water. No drips. No drips. Keep an eye on this for a couple hours to see how it goes.
Next week's video, we're going to be part 6 of the renovation, which will show you how to install a sink and a vanity.
Okay, we would also love to hear from you all. So as we usually tell you, please subscribe below. But we appreciate your comments, and we are open to both positive and negative feedback because we can't grow if we don't get that from you as well. So feel free to write some information down there or even ask us questions. Also, as we mentioned before, we are now starting to sell our t-shirts. So take a look there, and every month we'll be releasing some new designs, maybe even more frequently than that. So until we get to see you again next week,
Bye-bye.